right, you guys, next story. Prayers up to Brandi Maxiell. You guys remember who she is. She is the girl that we lovingly would refer to as single white female on Basketball Wives. That was a nickname that I had given her because of her seemed obsession with Malaysia. So I gave her the nickname of single white female. You guys remember when she was on the show, she had let us know that very first season that she had battled ovarian cancer, that she had went through treatment for ovarian cancer, and that it had went into remission, I believe a couple of years later. So she was back healthy. I think she had a scare later on in a couple of the other seasons where she thought she was having like another recurrence of it, but I don't think that was what the case was. And I think she's been in remission ever since the original bout of the original fight with ovarian cancer. So good for her. But now in this horrible times of COVID-19, it seems that Brandi has contracted the virus and is in the hospital. Just a few days ago, DJ Duffy, is that her name? She was on a later season. I didn't watch when she was on there, but she posted on her social media that she was asking for prayers for Brandi, but never said what it was for. And then a few other people started to say, send out prayers up for Brandi. And then finally, Brandi's sister, Jada, she came out and said that she was diagnosed with a severe case of COVID-19, and she was admitted into the hospital the other day because she was having trouble breathing. And we all know that if you have pre-existing conditions, you're more susceptible to be hit harder with the virus, and that might be the case here. So, of course, reality show is not reality, and Brandi could be a very good person in real life. Of course, in real life, I would never want to see this girl be sick or die possibly from, a virus or anything like that. So we are definitely going to send prayers up to her and hope that she is able to beat this virus. I mean, we have seen it really bring people completely down, break them down, all the way. And, people do recover. Some people do have, things that continue to be wrong even afterwards. I'm just hoping that she is able to beat this and that she comes out of it healthy and, back to herself. So yeah, prayers up for Brandi Maxiell. I know she has a couple of kids. I believe she is still married to the husband that she was having issues with on Basketball Wives, like left and, every now and then she was leaving him, then they were together and all that. But I believe that they are still together. Her kids should be, 10, 11. They should be up in those ages right now. Definitely a time when you need your mother. So I'm just going to pray that, we'll send up prayers that she recovers from this. Okay, so that is the story on Brandi Maxiell. Hopefully she makes a full recovery. All right, you guys, next story up. Let's talk about Naya Rivera's sister. This is an interesting story, you guys. So let's back up. We know that Naya Rivera, the former Glee star, drowned recently in Lake Placid? I believe that's where it was, in California, when she and her then 4-year-old son had rented a boat and somehow got off of the boat and drowned. It was a very, very, very sad story, and it's just sad. All right, beautiful girl, but she's gone, leaves behind her 4-year-old kid. I'm sure it was devastating for the family, everybody who knows her, her friends. I'm sure a loss like this is felt deeply. Her ex-husband, Ryan Dorsey, is now left to raise their now 5-year-old son by himself. Okay, and as far as I knew, Naya was the sole not the sole provider, but she had custody of the little boy. And her being gone is missed, especially by that little boy. So Ryan is now left to raise this little boy by himself. But they say that Naya's sister, Nicalia, what is her name? Nicalia Rivera, who is, I guess, a big-time social media influencer and also a model. I saw a picture of her. The girl is 5'11". When she's walking with Ryan, who he looked like he might be 5'7", 5'8", you know, she towers over him. But anyway, they say in an effort to help Ryan raise her nephew that these two have been inseparable, okay? That she has stepped in to help raise the little boy, make sure that he has some feeling of stability. You know, his mom is gone, his aunt is there, and they've seemed to take it a step further. And Ryan moved from a home that he lived in San Fernando Valley, and now these two have acquired a rental property, a $5,000 a month rental property, 3 bedrooms that they are all staying in together. Okay. Now they say that Ryan and Nicalia, with an N, they have been spotted around, you know, hanging out, you know, having a good time, sometimes even holding hands. And people were beginning to speculate that maybe these two were having some sort of relationship. Well, I mean, I don't know what writing needs to be on the wall here. Yes, I know it's 3 bedrooms. I mean, she could potentially say she was staying in 1 bedroom, the little boy is in another bedroom, and Ryan is in another bedroom. But no, it seems more like we've got a relationship going here. And I mean, I understand grief. You know, it opens you up, it makes you very vulnerable, and it, you know, does all of these things to you when people die. You make decisions, you know, that maybe you wouldn't make. You might not always be in your right mind. Yeah, I've been there. Many of us have been. But, you know, I don't know if, I mean, do you not look at, I mean, you got to only live your life for yourself. I got all of that, okay? Your happiness is what's most important. I got all of that. But, I mean, it wasn't nobody else in the world that you you got to be with your sister's ex-husband, you know, and clearly a relationship is blossoming here. You know, what does that do for your nephew, who is going to eventually see you guys in some sort of intimate exchange when you've always been auntie and now you might be mommy? And, you know, it's just... And then for him to subject his child to that as well, you know, sometimes the heart wants what it wants, but, you know, yeah, I really wish that, I mean, and it's so soon. The girl ain't even been dead long. And you guys have already moved on with a relationship, or it seems like a relationship. Of course, we are just allegedly, we're assuming, you guys, but it's not a good look. It's not a good look. She's come out and said that, you know, it's easy for people to talk, you know, and maybe you should just not say anything. And yeah, I mean, you can do all of that you want, but you cannot pass. I mean, you know that this don't look right. You, as the sister, are now pushing up on your dead sister's ex-husband, and he was an ex. Now it makes me wonder, was there any type of something going on between Nicalia and Ryan before Naya went on? Was there ever any type of a googly eye moment between the two of them that maybe they just didn't act on because Naya was here, and now that she's, I mean, I don't know, that might not be it, but you know, it just makes people think that. And you know, that's just not, that's not a good look. And again, you are going to confuse that little boy when he gets older and, you know, has to understand that his auntie is, you know, this is only if Ryan and Nicalia even last, because, you know, grief makes you do a whole bunch of things. And then when you get out of the cloud of grief, then you realize that, damn, I shouldn't have did that. Okay, maybe this wasn't the right move. And, you know, they may most likely have moved on from this relationship and it won't go any further. But if it does go further, then what are you going to tell this little boy? Yeah, I don't know. I don't like to be judgmental of people and the choices they make, you know, when it comes to things like this. But I'm just telling you, just in general that it is not a good look. What do you guys think about it, though? I mean, do you think that it's cool that Nikayla and Ryan have, you know, forged this friendship / relationship? Okay, what do you think that Naya would think if we were to have a conversation with her from the grave about her sister and her ex-husband? Y'all let me know. Okay, you guys, next story. I watched the whole interview that Oprah had with Mariah Carey on Apple TV. Shout out to whoever it was that asked me to talk about this, because I probably wouldn't have. I wouldn't have watched it. Like, I like Mariah and all of that, but, you know, I wouldn't have been sitting up there watching. But I actually watched it, and I enjoyed it because it was a great interview. Oprah does well interviewing people. It's about her book, The Meaning of Mariah. That's going to be coming out. It's a biography. It's talking about her growing up, you know, troubled childhood as a biracial child, mother having issues, father having issues, siblings having issues, drugs and jealousy and all of these things. But even still, she knew that she had this gift of song inside of her, how she was able to hone that, how she met Tommy Mottola, how that relationship was, you know, some moments about her being just pretty much in sing, and how Jermaine Dupri and DeBrat was really the ones that told her that, you know, this shit ain't cool. Like, you, Mariah Carey, why are you going through this? She talks about her relationship with Derek Jeter and how that was the catalyst for her to get the fuck up out of that. For her to see a healthy biracial family in his family. And for her to realize that the fucked up shit that she came from is not the norm, okay? That not all biracial families go through this shit. But yeah, she talked about all of these things, just her rise to stardom, superstardom, you know, a legend really. And she sits down and does it with another legend, which is Oprah Winfrey. So it was a very good interview. Learned something. I mean, most of the things I feel like I knew. Just didn't get... It just goes more in depth. Of course, we don't know about her stories of her childhood and all, but you know, we could generally assume how it went because she's always talked about how hard it's been. We know that her siblings, as they grew up, you know, her family stayed in the tabloids trying to talk about her, and you know, her sister is a drug addict, and she had very public struggles with that sister, and you know, she goes on to say she still takes care of her mother, but it's still like a work in progress. They good some days they not, you know, but she's gone on, married Nick Cannon. That was fun, you know, just kind of changed her perspective. But I don't know if I feel like they was ever really in love like that. But out of that relationship came her kids, who are now her unconditional loves of her life. You know, something that she created, that she knows that she doesn't have to prove anything to. She doesn't have to buy anything for them. She doesn't have to know that they just love her because she is mom. Okay, she's mommy. And that is what has made her kind of balance out now to just be this person where, you know, she just seems like she is happy, and she realizes that she deserves that happiness. So it was a very good interview. The book is interesting. I am going to read it. I am now reading Bobby Brown's. I had started Bobby Brown's autobiography a while ago, and then I stopped reading it. So I'm trying to finish that up. And then when her book, has it come out yet? I can't remember if they said it came out or not. But I'm going to read the book because it seems like it is interesting. And I like Mariah Carey. She just seems so cool. She just seems cool. She is definitely diva. And she did say that she doesn't even like that word too much. I've never liked diva, you know, because it always reminds me of bitch. So when people be like, oh, Roxanne, all right, diva. All right, be like, please don't call me diva. Just Roxanne. I'm okay with it. I'm just all right with that. I don't need to be the diva title. I'm not that person. But yeah, it was a good interview. She has a Christmas special that's coming out on Apple TV, so they did talk about that, you know, because she is Miss Christmas with, you know, her hit Christmas album, and it was good. So if you guys are a lamb, or if you're a part of her lamely or whatever, then you guys make sure that you check it out. I'm sure if you are a lamb, you probably have already anyway. But even for those of you guys who didn't think that you cared that much, You should watch it because it actually is very good. And like I said, it's on Apple TV. And talks about her book. It's come either out or coming out real soon. The Meaning of Mariah. Will you read it? All right, you guys, and let's talk this white folks news, but it still was like, I was reading the story and I was like, what? So Joe Montana, y'all know who he is, big time Super Bowl football player, Super Bowl star, I'm sure. You know, I think he was he a quarterback? Y'all don't let me get to lying. Y'all know I don't. But we know Joe Montana. We know that is like a big name in football. Well, of course, he's older now. He's retired. He's Grandpa Joe now. It seems that Joe and his wife were watching their 9-month-old granddaughter in their home in Malibu, California. And in the craziest story, you guys, some woman by the name of xoxo, she just decided to walk into their Malibu home, walk up to the playpen that the baby was in, and pick up the baby. And she was attempting to walk out with it. Now, Joe and his wife came into the room and noticed that she was there. And I guess it then got frantic, right? Because of course, who the fuck are you? Put my baby down. Are you crazy? Where do you have a weapon? Like all of this, you got to try to get together in a couple of seconds. You know that your child is in danger. That is the main thing, because a stranger has walked into your home and picked it up. Okay. So they tried to de-escalate it. This woman, from what I can tell, either doesn't speak English or speaks very broken English. So they're trying to de-escalate, get her to give them the baby back. Oh, girl act like she was about to walk on out. And finally, Granny was like, fuck all this talking, and went over there. And they had to actually wrestle. The grandmother approached her first, tried to get the baby. And then finally, Joe sprung into action and went over there and wrestled with the granny to get the baby out of the lady's arms. The woman ended up fleeing, okay, but they called the police, and the police actually found her later on that day. And so she's been arrested for kidnapping and some burglary charges as well. But I got so many questions. Like, first of all, Malibu is a very isolated, very rich town. Like, if you got some person just kind of wandering around in Malibu, I would imagine that the neighbors, everybody would be on that immediately. Because hell, I live with, my cousins for real. And even on our ring lights, like my neighbors, we all look out for each other, and we can see on our cameras, on our rings, not ring lights, but the ring doorbells. Like, we can see what's going on in the neighborhood. And I mean, there's been plenty of times where my neighbor have called and been like, hey, it's a red car just sitting in front of your house, or something like that, looking out. So I can imagine in Malibu, where you got millions and millions of dollars, like this would be heightened, right, on that level. So why is it xoxo can just walk up into Joe Montana's house? How you just walk in this man's house? So I'm trying to figure out just how she was able to pull all of this off. How did she even know it was a 9-month-old baby in there? Okay, I'm gonna need a little bit more of the backstory. I don't know if we'll ever get that, but I'm sure Joe and them will, if they don't know already. The woman has to get a lawyer, and she's going to have to fight these charges. But yeah, you guys, isn't that scary? Can you imagine somebody coming in your house and trying to take your child? I mean, just walking out the door with her. I mean, obviously this woman got some issues mentally, because you could have got killed. All right. Go and catch the right house on the right day and somebody would have shot you. So, it worked out in her favor that she just got arrested, but child, people are crazy nowadays. But yeah, you guys, the baby is good. Joe good. Joe wife good. And I'm assuming that the security will be stepped up around that property quite a bit, so that they don't have to worry about something like this happening again. But yeah, you guys, do you think that this was something random, or do you think that xoxo, whatever her name is, knew the Montanas or something? What's up with that story, y'all? All right, you guys, somebody wanted me to talk about Fashion Novas and their new kids line. I tried to look up on the story, and I mean, I saw it on Instagram for sure. I did see pictures of the little girls in the dresses that Fashion Nova had, but I didn't really find any stories on that other blogs or anybody had done on Fashion Nova's kid line. But I can just tell you guys from the pictures that I saw that it's inappropriate for sure. People gonna get enough of sexualizing these little tiny kids and little girls in particular, by putting them in these tight ass dresses. I mean, just dresses that are on Fashion Nova, that are on curvy grown women. They've made them just miniature sized for little girls. And it's just inappropriate. I mean, there's really, you guys had to know that me being grown ass Roxanne auntie, for some of you guys, TT, whatever you want to call me, that I was not going to be okay with that. And I mean, I remember telling you guys a long time ago that I didn't understand people that put, like, when a baby to me is supposed to have pastel colors on it, the material needs to be very soft and very, you know, I'm from that school. Kim Kardashian, for example, had Northwestern. I remember specifically talking about on Top of the Blogs one time, she had her in like some leather dress and she wasn't even like a year old or something. Like, today, I probably would be more okay with that, but definitely back then, like, why are you putting this old hard ass, scratchy ass, uncomfortable ass material on this little fresh baby new skin? Like, I would never have put black and dark gray and all of these muted tones and shit on my baby back then. Okay, I just wouldn't, because that's just not what, you know. Now I done got with the times. I know a bitch old and everything, and you know, I know the kids wear, you know, more contemporary or fashionable stuff. But I'm from the school, you guys, that the baby dress like a baby. Put that child in some fucking cotton and let it be, you know, fluffy and pink and blue and yellow and mint green. And, you know, that's just how I was. So I'm never approved of this kind of style dressing on I didn't even put that kind of shit on Jada. As a matter of fact, when Jada was, I told you guys this too, when Jada was little, you know, she finally told me one day, like, Mommy, I don't like all of these stuff that you like. I don't like all these stars and hearts and feathers and sparkle and shit. And I was so hurt because I was like, what? She's like, I don't like that. And to this day, my daughter only likes tan, white, gray, black. Okay, she don't do all of these bright colors. She's very, very basic in those kind of ways. So, like, my heart was broken because I was just like, how do you not like, you know, we used to go to Justice and she didn't like nothing in there. I was like, you don't like this pants with all these stars on it? No. Okay. So I don't like that kind of shit. Like, I don't want them to put that on girls like that. Because it's sexualized, and it is motherfuckers out here who are crazy, who will try to do something to your child. So why bring more attention to your child by putting them in shit like that? I don't think that is cool. And then when you look at the ad, the advertising for the show, for the fashion line, you know, they got the pictures of the little girls. Not only are they just standing there, you know, in they little sassy poses, but some of them are from behind. Like, they turn it around like you do when you want somebody to look at your butt. Why do we need to see this? This child is 5, 6, 7 years old. What are you doing? Very inappropriate. So, that's just my 10 cents. But you guys had to know that that's how I was going to feel about it. Yeah, it's not cool. All right, you guys, next story, JaguarWright. So I haven't really been talking about Jaguar because, she's just been continuously talking. We talked about her when she had a lot to say about Common and, was it Talib? Who was the other person? You know, when she had the thing to say about Common, trying to make her give him a blowjob, and talked about the other one peeking in on people when they were changing clothes. And, you know, we talked about her at that time, but I didn't go on because she's just continuously been talking. Like a couple of weeks ago or last week ago, I think she said that Mary J. Blige was gay. You guys, I actually did write down the quote. I didn't write down the quote, but she did challenge Mary J. Blige to a versus battle. Okay. And she said that Mary J. Blige did not have any talent. She was like, I can go into a studio and I can sit with a mixer and I can produce my own songs. Like, can you do that, Mary J? Okay. No, you probably can't. All you can sit there is play dress up and go put your face in the place of some woman in the dark, you know, so people don't know that you gay. And if I'm lying, then you can sue me, Mary J. Okay. That's what she had to say about Mary. Of course, Mary hasn't said anything. The general response is nobody is responding to her, because if you give it any more energy, then you're going to blow the story up. And I think people are just that she's talking about are just allowing her to just say whatever she wants to say. And as the stories come out more and more, you know, some people start to say like she either messy or she is unhinged, and you know they gonna choose to believe it or not, but they not giving it no more energy. Okay, so that's what she said about Mary a couple of weeks ago. This week she is now saying that Puffy, Sean Combs, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever you guys call him, Puff, he's always gonna be Puffy to me, you guys. Puffy, and Christopher Williams, who was his artist back in the 90s, she's saying that they are gay, that they had like a secret lovers relationship. And I thought she was going to say something about her maybe walking in on them and catching them, but she said no, she never caught them. She never saw with her own eyes, but she was told by an entertainment lawyer, and supposedly that woman had walked in on Christopher Williams giving Puffy a blowjob. You know, we've heard blowjob stories on Puffy in the past, and Wendy Williams talking about him, and who was it? Was it Andre Rice? You guys, I hate to speak ill of the dead, but I believe, was it Andre? I mean, Andre Rison. Harrell, you guys. But anyway, so we've heard stories about the blowjob stories with Puffy and all. But that's what she's saying. That's the latest story that she is saying now. Like all the other stories that I've given you guys, if you don't have firsthand knowledge on things, it's just what you choose to believe, whether or not you believe Jaguar. And none of the stories are impossible. You know, they say all kind of shit goes down in the entertainment industry. I don't know, you know, it don't even matter at this point because everybody has catapulted to their superstardom places. Puffy is very successful. Mary is very successful. Common is very successful. Like, you know, they've all done well. You know, Jaguar, you know, people are saying that she's bitter because her career has never taken off the way that it should have, because she's very talented. I can't imagine that any of the things that she says these days are going to help her. So I just feel like, you know, the more and more she talks about people, you know, powerful people in the music industry, is just like another nail in the coffin for her career. And that will probably push her to continue on because, you know, telling these stories because she's upset about what has happened with her career, but this won't help her career. That's the whole thing. But yeah, you guys, Jaguar has a lot to say, and I'm sure she will continue to say those things. That's the latest though on Mary and Puffy and Christopher. Do you guys believe them? And then lastly, you guys, y'all know it wouldn't be right if I didn't bring up the fact that the Lakers are going to the championship finals. Swish. That's right, you guys. Child, after 10 fucking years. Okay, well, they haven't won in 10 years. All right, but we just gonna already automatically say a decade later that the Lakers will secure the championship, bring home the title and the trophy. It's been 6 years since they've even been in the playoffs, you guys. So this is a big deal for Los Angeles. They'll be playing the Miami Heat. At one time, we thought it was going to be the Clippers, even though I didn't think it was going to be the Clippers because the Clippers always choke. The Clippers never, ever make it. Never. Okay? All this promise, it never happens. It's the same with what they say about the Atlanta Falcons, child. I don't even watch football, but I was like, why is it that Atlanta can't never be having a damn 20-point lead and that shit all gets washed away, you know? So that's how I felt about the Clippers. I was like, oh, the Clippers. Yeah, so they will be going to the championships. The games do start tomorrow, Wednesday. I am so proud of my boys because it has been a lot. I mean, the Lakers have had so many issues, front office issues. Remember the shit with Palinky? Is that his name? And Magic. You know, all of that falling out that they had. You know, the situation with when Jerry Buss died, and the daughter taking over and not necessarily putting the right people in place and going through the coaches and all the many changes on the team and thinking they're getting somebody and not getting that person and being blindsided by other teams and blah, 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 blah. We finally got LeBron in there. It took some time for them to try to build up a team. you know, to around LeBron so that we could start to at least make it to the fucking playoffs, you know. And they finally do it, and it is in the year that is the fucking most weirdest. Okay, the year where people can't go to the games, the year where everybody in the NBA had to commit to being in the bubble, going to Orlando, staying down there the whole season, the whole rest of the season, just so they can try to keep COVID at bay and keep these players healthy so that they can continue to play, for us to be able to watch it on TV, you know. But all of this is going on, and the Lakers make it to the championship finals. Okay, now when they win the games, you know, when they win this series, we can't even have a fucking parade, y'all. LA can't even have a parade, and I'm telling you, we used to have so much fun at them parades. I used to work right on the route of the parade, so I would always go down from my office and walk with the floats and go back. You know, this was during the time where they had the three-peat, and I mean, had just the most fun, the most fun. It was such good times, you guys, just to see Shaq and Kobe and Derek Fisher and Rick Fox, and, you know, all of the team back in the day. And it just, it was such great times, y'all, just great times. So I'm really, I know that the boys are going to do it. Okay, I have faith in my boys. But even if in the whatever chance something very strange happens and they don't win this, the finals, I'm proud of them that they was able to get there. It's a lot of pressure on LeBron James. Okay, a lot. I wouldn't even want to be LeBron James these days, because you know, he's got the name, deservedly so, the best player in the NBA right now. But, you know, when you get that name, then people also expect you to deliver. And sometimes they expect you to deliver at any cost, even if nobody else is doing the job. Like, you know, it's on him. So I know he's happy and stressed. You know, like he said, the job's not done. So we can't be having no big party right now. Okay, we still got potentially 7 more games to have to go through. And that's that Mamba mentality that you have to have. You guys have all seen the video of Kobe where he's like, why aren't you happy? The reporter asked, okay, is the job done? No. So why should I be celebrating? And I think that that's the zone that everybody is trying to be on, you know, as they go into this championship finals. But yeah, I'm proud of my boys, y'all. Okay, you coming on the west side, even though it's something on the east side. Y'all remember Shaq's song? That should still be jamming. Y'all just play it real loud in your car, okay? Because that's what they was playing at the parade all the time. So every time I hear that song, it reminds me of those times. You guys say, I just can't believe Kobe is not here. You guys, I still can't believe it. But anyway, you guys, I wanted to end the video on a happy note. So that is what we got. Congratulations to my boys. Y'all go on and hurry this shit up. We'll give them 5 games, y'all. We'll give them 5. All right, you guys, that is it. Let me get off of here. Let's talk about it. We'll be up tomorrow. We'll talk about YSAP and all of his fucking niggatry from his debate tonight. All right, but anyway, let me get on. We do this every single week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back.